why do farts smell worse in the shower?
Well, you can ask us questions
and
too.
I love that question. That's a great question.
I think they're great.
There's a whole
that kind
bunch
of shit.
of
That's a
reasons
great
that
question
one
because
could
we have
be.
a wonderful story from Gabby. Hello, Internet, and welcome back to the Boneyard Arcade podcast. As always, I'm Josh.
I'm Grim.
And I'm not Lucky Bones. I'm actually Dmitri Molotov, and I am Lucky Bones' genetic prototype.
You may recognize her from our Discord.
Yes. Hi, Discord.
So, have you firstly, how are you doing? I was just about to jump in and ask you a question about something, but I was like, actually, you know what? Maybe I should find out how you're actually going. How the fuck are you going?
Pretty good. I've come off a full day of teaching.
Oh, excellent.
Yeah.
Excellent. So the high school?
Yep.
Okay.
Actual science now.
Actual science and multimedia, funny enough.
Really?
Okay.
Because I know so much about multimedia.
Okay,
I can teach you. I got this.
No, look, I can do 3D modeling. I can do Photoshop.
Really?
You're gonna have to teach me the digital video editing stuff later.
Actually, I saw you learning Blender. Was it Blender?
It's Blender. Yeah.
I still have to learn that.
I haven't touched Blender in a long time.
Blender's awesome. I love it.
I only know 3D modeling in like an engineering CAD sense. So it's all SolidWorks and stuff like that. And, you know, FEA and
Yeah.
all sorts of
A little
fun
bit
stuff.
different to what we want to do with it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I when I was teaching, I wasn't truly cut out for teaching religion classes and stuff like that. I got to cover a few of those. It's very interesting.
I get to teach non-scripture. So
It's
we
very
just
fun.
watch slow-mo guys videos. Don't tell the other teachers. Yeah.
That's a religion of sorts. Or it's a faith.
Yeah.
Faith of
It's
science.
a way of life.
It is. It truly is.
Look, I'm teaching them the practical skills that they need to survive in the world, like getting hit with a fish in slow motion.
Getting hit with a fish in slow motion sounds fucking amazing.
It was awesome.
Where have I seen that before? That's a slow-mo
Yeah,
slow-mo
it is a
guys
slow-mo
video.
guys
Yeah, I
video.
was like, I've seen this so many times. The fish slap is the best.
Yep.
You might have noticed that Gab isn't here. She's cat sitting.
She is. She's watching My Little Devil. Winks.
Okay.
We gave her a birthday off.
Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like most workplaces, you know, you have to take your birthday off.
Happy birthday, Lucky.
It's just the rules.
And Chloe got in trouble for missing too many training sessions for volleyball, so she's over there playing volleyball today. But we figured today would be the perfect chance for us to get you in and ask you some science questions.
Yay, science.
That we've had the Discord provide for us before we've recorded the show. So we're going to have some really interesting shit. I think every time I'm around you, because I'm always like, I love, and we'll get into the thick of it a bit later, but I'm always really into things like, horror movies and stuff. So I was watching it again last night. It's the one about the virus that spreads.
Yes.
What's it called? It's,
Which one?
the one with the fruit bat.
Oh, Contagion?
Contagion, right? And I'm
That's
always
actually really good.
I know, and I'm always fucking like, horror movies don't scare me, but the ones about viruses and the world being overtaken by this plague that you kind of just can't
The
run
real
from,
stuff?
right? Yeah, like the proper shit.
Okay,
Like,
do
that's
you
a horror
want to
movie.
be even more scared?
Yeah, I
That
love being
movie
scared.
is pretty fucking close to the truth.
It would be, right?
I usually watch that with my year 10 students, and we basically go through that movie, and I'll pause it every now and then and go, that's actually what would happen, or that's actually how they do that. Maybe it's a little bit time sped up or something like that, but there's a lot of elements in that are pretty well true.
Okay.
So...
Because I think one of the biggest things about that movie that draws me in is the fact that I like to sit and think that this is the kind of shit that can actually happen.
Mm-hmm.
I look at it and I'm just like, you see the opening scene is like all these people who are sick and they're coughing into their hands, and then they're like holding the rail on a bus, or they're walking down the shops and they're touching the handrail, or whatever else, and it just spreads and spreads and spreads. And I'm like, if this shit really happened, we'd be fucked.
Yeah,
like
100% how that would happen as well. So,
that's amazing.
I feel like on a molecular level because I spent last Saturday shooting Free Comic Book Day at Kinokuniya, and I'm pretty sure I picked up some manner of plague from somebody because I spent like from halfway through the week it had incubated and I was dying. I had sore throat, like coughing, spluttering. I'm still like recovering. I just had some pills and that before I got on here.
Yeah,
the fun kind.
You
party
basically
ones.
got another version of like con flu.
Yeah.
Probably, yeah. Actually, it was.
Yeah. You've had to shake many hands, say hi to many people.
I tried to keep my distance.
Get really sick.
I really did. Do you know, it was really weird, actually. I'm not really allergic to anything particular, but immediately, like, after 2 minutes of shooting, I just started sneezing. And I never do that. Like, you know, people who get into, like, a sneezing fit, and it's like, they have to sneeze 10 times, and then that's it. It's out of their system. I normally will sneeze once or twice, maybe 3 times. I sneezed, like, 5, 6, 7, 8 times in a row. I just could not stop. And it was, like, not all in one go. It was, like, sneeze 2 or 3 times. Then wait, then sneeze some more. And I was like trying to do my job and take photos in between. And I'm like, excuse me, I just got to go and die for a minute.
Yeah. And you're not even in a place you could avoid people after that. Like,
I was like, sneeze, find a way to do this not grossly, because you're basically in a glass box and everyone's looking, and I'm like, I don't want to have to like take your form and make you feel gross, but you know, I'm going to have to do it.
Cheers.
So anyone who caught whatever plague I was given, then, you know.
Yeah, if you're sick
Probably
after
serves
Free
you
Comic
right.
Book Day, it's
Blame him.
yeah, it's either Josh's fault or thanks
Or
to
patient
you.
zero.
Yeah, thanks to
Whoever
you, Josh
you
got
are.
sick. So,
I'll find you.
It came out this week, and I say like, oh, sorry, it came out. The trailer for the new It movie came out. Chapter 2
Yes.
came out. And I was gonna mention this when I was talking about my love of horror movies that involve, you know, plagues and shit. This one doesn't involve a plague. It involves a clown.
Yeah.
Or a demon that is, you know, in the form of a clown.
Yep.
You've seen the first one.
Yeah.
I've
You've
read
seen
the
the
book.
first one.
Yeah, I've read the
You've
book.
read the book?
I haven't read the
Yeah, I
book.
haven't read the book.
Gotta read the
Okay.
book.
Have you read the book?
Yeah, a long time ago.
Okay.
And I also believe that I probably didn't get to read it properly because I was in and out of that book. I didn't read it straight. Like,
so that's one of the first books I think Lucky read all the way through, because I went through a massive phase of reading Stephen King novels, and I just binged them. And then she started sort of. That was about the same time she looked up to me a little bit, and you know,
Gone are those days.
So yeah, she totally read it, and she got really into it as well. She probably remembers it better than I do, to be honest, because I have very, very little recollection of the second half of it.
Okay.
So this movie, I'm so stoked. I can't wait.
does the book spell it out like the movie has? Like the whole first movie was about them as kids, right?
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. It is literally, it's the book is divided in two. So they've got chapter 1 where they're kids, and then chapter 2 where they're adults. And of course, reading it as a kid, you kind of zone out when they turn into adults because like, this isn't really relevant to me.
Yeah.
And I can't wait now as an adult to go back and watch the film. I'm probably going to have to reread the book.
Yeah, I remember when the first movie came out, like the new version, obviously. When the first movie came out, they said that there was so much from the book that was left out that was like really over the top, like violence and really like sort of, I don't know, just moments from the book that they left out. And I can't remember.
Honestly, I don't think I can remember. Nothing springs to mind, but again, it's been a really long time. It's been like 15 years. But yeah, nothing I can remember of them specifically leaving out. But I remember hearing that as well. So I'm thinking people who know the book better than I do.
Yeah, I mean, considering the trailer has just come out for chapter 2 and we've already got a naked old lady in it,
Yeah.
I'm just like, I guess they're making up for what they might have left out in the first movie by throwing a crazy,
Yeah.
grotty old looking lady.
Not enough nudity. That was the problem.
Yeah, that's it. Let's make it proper sexy. Let's get some gilfs up in here.
Oh my
Yeah, no,
God.
I remember Gab and I, when the first movie had come out, they sent us like a box with like
That's right.
a ribbon and shit around it. When you
Yeah.
open the box up, the balloon came out, and it was. So I'm like really excited to
And
see
they had
what.
the little boat. I've
Yeah.
still got the
Yeah.
SS.
like all of it. The
I've
SS
still got
Georgie.
it there.
Is it the
Yeah.
Georgie?
Well,
Yeah.
it was all of your names.
Yeah.
Like Gabriella was
Oh, that's
on that
right.
one.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's still
Yeah.
on my shelf because she was like opened it at my house, I think.
They
So I kept it
we were
'cause I'm a
speaking about
hoarder.
this before the show as well. We were saying that it's going to be pretty hard for the adult actors to top the acting and the kind of
Yeah.
show that the young kids put on in the first film.
Kids are so goddamn talented. Those kids are incredible. And I think it's a hard act to follow for now the adults who are, you know, they've been acting for years and years. Like, we've got some really top grade actors in there, and they're going to, frankly, struggle following those kids, I reckon.
Yeah.
They've got the charm. Do you know, I was watching Stranger Things season 2 because I just never got around to it. Like the first time I tried to, I just, for whatever reason, wasn't in the mood for it, and it just didn't grab me again.
Yep.
And so I was like, I'm going to put this one aside and come back to it when I want to, because
Yeah.
otherwise I'm going to hate it. And came back to it today, and that was exactly what I was hit by. Was like these kids who can act so well that you don't realize they're kids acting anymore. Like,
Yeah.
it's all just really well done and cohesive to the point where they're out acting the adults almost.
Yeah.
It used to be a case where you'd look at the child actors, you'd go back to like Sixth Sense, and the kid that was in it, you looked at him, I can't remember his name. Do you remember his name at all?
The actor? No.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. If
I may
if
not
Chloe
have
was
even
here,
seen
she
it.
would have yelled at me by
Yeah.
now for not knowing what it is. But you used to look at actors like that kid and you go, wow, he's such a good child actor. He's going to be amazing when he's an adult.
Yeah.
But now you kind of don't look at the kids and go, oh, like they're going to be, you know, they're going to be top superstars when they grow up,
Yeah.
because they're already top stars when they're kids.
Yeah.
And you kind of just expect that they're just going to carry this legacy on
Yeah.
or whatever.
Yeah.
So it seems pretty interesting that this movie is creepy as fuck already in the trailer, and they've already done something really fun with it. So I'm kind of excited to see where we go with it, especially considering the trailer is like 2 minutes long or something, and it's
Yeah.
already creepy.
Yeah.
It's gonna be pretty good.
I'm just concerned that they, you know how they have this thing with sequels or, you know, continuations, second movies of any kind. They always seem to maybe pull too hard from the things that worked in the first film, like even things like Guardians of the Galaxy 2 and things like that, and maybe even Deadpool 2 to an extent.
Yeah.
Like that one danced the line, was still good, but like there's something about seeing the first film when you're not prepared for how that's going to be told, how the universe has been set up, even if you know the story, how they're going to tell it. Like there's something that second films never quite hit that same mark to me.
Yeah.
But I really hope they can get close with this one, because I loved the first It. Like it was so brilliant.
Yeah.
Like you just spend the whole time just engrossed with like all the characters. They were so well acted. It was just such a good film.
Yeah.
And I hope they can do it again.
I'm going to go out on a limb and say they're going to nail it with this one, just because, and I think what you said with the, they'll go too hard with one thing that really worked. The one thing that really worked the most was the kids and the actors.
Yep.
Like the dynamics that they all had and the genuineness that they brought to that character, like that really made that movie for me. And having these new actors, really high caliber actors, but also after, it's 27 years later. So after that amount of time, they're not going to have that same closeness, and the actors are going to be a little bit different around each other. I think that's going to bring in that same, like, really genuine dynamics.
Yeah.
And I really hope that that's going to, like, carry it through and just make it feel just as creepy. And also, in the book, like, as kids, they're incredibly brave. Like, they're still they're scared shitless, but, the adults come back and they've got stuff to lose. They've got lives, they've got stuff elsewhere. They're kind of on the verge of, we could all just walk away from this and leave Derry, but at the same time, they're absolutely bricking it. Like,
yeah.
Pennywise is back. We've made a pact. We're going to stop him. So I can't wait to see how they do it. It's going to be awesome.
I can't remember in the book as well. I know that Pennywise goes after kids.
Yeah.
Does he go after the same, like, does he go after those kids now that they're grown up and back?
Yeah.
Or is he going after different kids and these kids are like, no, fuck you, we're coming to kill you?
It starts happening again.
Okay.
And then they get involved.
Okay,
and
cool.
because they're obviously the ones who got away, he has to stop them.
Because I got asked that question the other day. Someone was like, but isn't the clown after kids? Why is the clown now going after them as adults? Should he not care now because they're adults? And I was like, actually, that's a good point, but I'm sure that they've experienced him and they just want to
so the pattern is every 27 years he has to come up to feed, and he feeds on fear and kids.
Amazing.
So
I spent $700 and something on a Pennywise costume.
Yeah, that's right. I recall this.
When that movie came out, because I was like, I fucking need this costume. And I had a beard at the time, and I was like,
did not want to.
I was like, beard, Pennywise, beard, Pennywise. I ended up keeping the beard stupidly, and I mean, now at least I've got the costume for the second movie rolling around, which is kind of okay. As long as
I can't wait for them to change everything.
He's just got blue buttons or some shit instead of red.
Totally.
I can't wait for you to get your turtle suit.
Dude, that's never coming.
Oh,
that guy has a fucking new reason every time I see. Like, I'm not the only one though.
No.
I have seen other people leaving comments on his Facebook posts being like, I just can't wait. I'm like at the 5-year mark now waiting for my suit. And that's where I'm at.
Oh my God.
And he's just like, yep, on the way eventually, just chipping away through that list. I'm like, how the fuck long can you...
Yeah, but
like,
is he really?
Well, that's what I mean.
don't think
like,
so.
How can you drag people on like that? Like, that's
he's still taking new commissions and people still pay him?
I mean, he's constantly got...
I mean, if he's on his page still, like, if he was going to just run away, wouldn't he have already just... shut himself down and gone for a different name?
He's still working through suits, but at the same time, like, he's always like, I'm making a Godzilla suit. I'm making a Master Splinter. And I'm like, no, motherfucker, you've got like a list of 80
you're
suits
finishing
to
a
get
turtle
through.
suit.
Finish the fucking suits first and then make your Godzilla, dickhead. Like, don't make these other suits just because, hey, a movie's coming out. It's going to be sick. It just fucking annoys me. I don't know.
Well, maybe what you need is another Ninja Turtles movie to come out. Then it will be lucrative.
No, because then his list will just get big. Like, it'll get bigger. There'll be a new design.
At the top of the list.
Oh no, fuck no.
He'll just invert the list and be like, they've already waited 5 years. They can wait longer.
Yeah, that's exactly what it'll be. It'll be like
all these 1 years. Got to knock them off first.
Yeah, it's a touchy topic for me. It's been a long time, right?
At like this stage, it's like sunk cost fallacy. It's like, I'm invested. This is gonna happen. It doesn't matter if it takes 12 years.
Yeah, it's upsetting to me.
I can't wait for it to arrive, and you'll be 60.
Yeah.
You'll gift it to your children.
Oh, fuck that.
You'll gift it to your children.
Generation.
60 years old, by then I'll have had like that humpback and shit. I'll be perfect for the Ninja Turtle suit. Yeah, it'll be great. And it'll be like historical, because I don't think they're ever going to do another, like, if they do, I don't know if they'll do them like the Ninja Turtles.
I like that they're up there ready for that accidental perfect reference.
Yeah. Yeah, totally.
Nailed it.
I mean, they're an science experiment gone wrong. So when I told Chloe that we were going to do some science stuff, she was like, all right, well, I'll put something science up. And then she realized I don't have anything sciencey in my room. And so she threw Ooze and Ninja Turtles up on the shelf.
Science.
And I was like, great. Like, that's the perfect segue into science. It's excellent.
Science.
Yeah. So I feel like let's talk science.
Let's talk science.
Before we do that, should we
Do you want to like
take a little break, or
give it a snipper?
do we want to talk about a little bit about RTX first?
I'll do that. Yeah. Shit,
yeah.
I
And then
almost
we'll
forgot
get
that.
into some science.
I almost forgot that. This is actually your first time coming to Texas.
This is going to be my first RTX in Texas. I've done 3 RTXs in Australia, and I'm super freaking stoked.
How do you-
Psyched.
Stoked and psyched is a
Stoked
good
and
word.
psyched. I'm doing good.
How do you feel about the fact that like you don't get to go to them locally though anymore? Like, do you think that it was kind of like it's okay because now you're really looking forward to going to Texas? Is it like
It's very okay because I'm really looking forward to going to Texas. It's a little bit sad that we're not going to have like the homebrew one anymore, but at the same time, I absolutely understand from their point of view.
Yep.
And talking to the guys pretty regularly. For those who don't know, I'm a mod for Ryan. So we sort of talk fairly regularly about kind of stuff like that. Taking some of that stress away from the amount of travel that they have to do is going to be a huge thing for them. So it was a really huge endeavor to get them out. It was awesome to have them while we did, but I'm totally looking forward to going over to Austin. And I think it's going to be absolutely worth it.
It's going to be a fucking trip and a half.
I'm so excited because you guys have been twice now. And
Yeah, this will be my
you know the ropes.
fourth time?
So,
Yeah. Yeah, fourth time there. I can't fucking wait to go back. Yeah, because I went once for RTX, then the
yeah,
wedding,
yeah.
yeah. So I've been there 4 times this time. So
Yeah, you'll have to take me all the best places.
yeah. You're gonna end up having to get dragged around to all the things that we bloody do. It'll be
Just
great.
take me.
There's a hidden little comic shop in Austin too.
Really?
Yeah. Found
That
it when we
doesn't
were waiting the
surprise
other
me
day.
at all. It's Austin.
When we were waiting the other day. When we were waiting last time,
Yeah.
I was like walked into this building and there's a toy museum and a comic shop. And it's like 80s and 90s toys. And I was like, fuck yeah. Yeah.
Yes,
So
let's go.
you're coming along to check it out. But at the same time, you're also doing something now?
I am. So I applied for a community panel with the moderators of the Achievement Hunter guys.
Okay.
And now we're doing a panel on... where it's called After Hours, a guide to community moderation, because between us we've got a number of years experience of like moderating for communities, and obviously I moderate for the Boneyard Arcade Discord.
Yep.
So yeah, we're going to be talking about the ins and outs of moderation and chats and gaming and streaming and stuff like that. So
Cool.
it's going to be a bit of a montage of information and stuff, but it'll be a lot of fun.
Educate people on how not to be little shits in servers.
To just be better.
Yeah, you know, there's that.
How to behave.
We have fantastic communities, so it's
Yeah.
more about what you can do to make your community even better.
Good.
And how to fix them if they suck. But luckily we don't have that problem. You guys are pretty good. I was asked to be on a community panel.
Very well done.
I was asked to be on a photography one, but I don't think it got through. But I had a really good name, and since we don't have a panel to use it for,
You can tell us what
I
it is.
wanted it to be film, lighting, audio, and photography seminar.
You wanted to
Which, yeah, if you
Yep.
put those letters together in your mind's eye, you'll realize it spells flaps. Yeah,
He's a classic.
think about it. Well, last year we had the Balls podcast, Boneyard Arcade live local show. So I wanted to go along those lines again.
And hit up the flaps.
Yeah, I'm all about the flaps. It's, equal opportunity. We had balls, got to have some flaps.
Someone said something they weren't meant to, so I'm going to cover it with less impactful spoilers because I'm nice like that. Dobby dies. Darth Vader is Luke's dad. Santa is real, but he died last month, and a team of government scientists have been working around the clock to reanimate his corpse in time for Christmas. If they're unsuccessful, the holiday will not go ahead.
I'm mostly just there to go floating on the river.
Yeah.
And I want to climb. I'm going to go climbing again. That
Eat
was
meat.
fun.
Lots of meat.
Oh, yeah, barbecue.
meat.
That's
Drink
always
lots
good.
of drink lots of bullshit. Mm-hmm. Go do little partying things. And it's 4th of July when we're there.
Yes, I'm so
July.
keen for
We're
fireworks.
gonna blow something up.
Yeah.
Yeah, celebrate your country's freedom by blowing up a small part of it.
Should we talk
With
science?
science.
Yes, we should talk science.
All right,
Let's cut it
hold that thought.
and
We'll
go
be right
talk
back.
science.
And we're back. So now we're doing our little science portion of the podcast, which is totally original. No one's ever done it before.
Definitely not.
We asked Discord for some science-based questions to throw at you. Are you ready for some?
Bring it on.
Before we get into it, what's your like background?
That's
in
what I was
science?
gonna say.
Yeah.
Like,
What
how's the
area of
science
science?
Why am I allowed to talk about science?
Yes.
What
All right.
qualifies you to be a doctor?
Because I could talk about science or how to heal yourself from sickness, and I'd probably kill more people than heal. So,
On
Alright.
paper, Dan's a qualified teacher.
fucking oath.
On paper, I'm an engineer.
On paper, I am a qualified scientist.
You're a doctor.
I am. Yeah, I have 4 degrees now. My
Fucking
last
hell.
one came in the mail the other day. Look, it sounds really dodgy. It's just that I'm tired of going to graduations, and I'm just like, no, just send it to me.
That's fair.
Yeah. So I have a Bachelor of Science.
Yep.
I had no idea what the fuck I wanted to do, so I just kind of did a bit of everything. And then after my first year, I was like, even though I'd not done any in high school, I was like, biology, that's the shit.
Yeah.
So I did some biology. I specialized in blood and pathogens, which are like diseases. So I was like, blood, diseases, awesome stuff. Then I did my honors, which is like a little research year, and I did that in infectious diseases.
Fuck yeah.
Which was awesome. Learned a lot about working in a lab. I worked with a bunch of mass spectrometers and all sorts of like cool, really, really expensive kit that does stuff and goes ding.
Okay.
It's the best part of uni when you get to
Exactly.
play with like hundreds of thousands of dollars of
And
equipment.
crazy
And it's
shit.
like this little box on a table.
Being a researcher is so much fun because you're constantly at like the cutting edge of science. No one's done the shit that you're trying to do. You get to play with all the really expensive new toys. You get to culture really dangerous like bugs and stuff. It's really cool. So they said, do you want to do a PhD in this? And I was, at the time, I was kind of like, I really want to be like a doctor. And so I'd like sat my exams to get into medical school, and I got a really good mark. And they're like, you could go off and do medicine, or we could give you a scholarship and you could stay here. And I was like, give me the money.
Yeah. Fuck
So yeah, I spent the next 5 years researching at one of the universities to become a doctor of infectious diseases.
So how long has it taken you from like your start in science, like your start in like, tertiary education in science?
I've been in science, it's been 10 years.
Okay.
Yeah. And then I
Holy
did
fuck.
an extra 2 in education to go back to school and
Fuck.
teach. And I was lecturing in between then, and teaching at the universities.
Yeah. So you've kind of always had your foot in like the
Yeah.
teaching science.
Yeah,
doctor pool.
exactly. That's why I went back to schools to teach science, because it's like, why teach to the people who've already made the decision to be scientists? Like, why not inspire a new generation of scientists? So yeah.
Very noble.
Yeah.
Have you been to a body farm?
Okay. There is
A
one,
what?
and it was set up by my university
Okay.
when I was there working on my PhD. So I haven't actually been to the body farm,
Okay.
but I did help them in the setup. Like,
In
I
the
was
setup of
involved
it.
in the setup of it, and like got to talk to all the students who were helping set it up at the time. So it was
crazy.
really cool. I really, really wanted to go up there, but I've not yet actually made it
So I
up.
was going to be like, how does it smell?
Oh, well, I've been around cadavers.
Okay.
We used to have a plastination laboratory.
Okay.
And yeah, that's pretty cool stuff. So it's, well, like, not,
Yeah, I get you, I get you.
It's
Yeah,
really
yeah.
neat. It's very cool.
Yeah, it's an interesting space to,
it is
to be. It's not like
very weird.
your everyday sort of
Yeah.
space to play in.
Yeah. I also, I applied for a job as a mortuary assistant when I was studying to do my teaching degree, because it was like nighttime work, and also because the job description had the word eviscerate in it. And I was like, honestly, you had me at eviscerate.
Oh shit.
Why would I not apply for that job? It's literally like removing guts from dead people.
Yeah.
But, okay, that's probably not the sort of person we want working for us if that's going to
If
be
that's
a
what's
response.
selling
so, yeah. Consequently, I didn't get that job. But
I got told at my grandmother's funeral that I would be good in the funeral industry.
Yeah.
Because I literally was like, I was sad, but like I could see that my mum was heaps sad. Everyone else was really sad. So I was like, fuck, these guys need help, like ushering people to seats. All right, the lid on the coffin needs to be lifted. I'm going to go over and lift it up. I'm going to help them move the coffin over. I'm going to go and adjust the shit on the inside of the coffin. Like, and they were like, are you like family? And I went, I'm a grandson. And they went, are you okay? Do you want to sit down? And I went, I'm making sure everyone else is okay. You guys okay? And they were like, do you want to work in the funeral industry? Is that an interest of yours?
I would.
Yeah.
It's a fantastic industry. It's very much a people, like it's a almost customer service industry in that you're taking care of people, but it's also like a lot of management. It's also a lot of science and technical stuff, but it's a fascinating industry to get involved with. And yeah, in the right ways, it's really cool.
And the best way to learn about diseases is usually off deceased
Yeah, well,
organisms,
Yeah,
bodies.
so yeah, that's like you get your basic anatomy. You can look at you can do your whole like disease processes and the end results of diseases, I suppose.
Okay.
So yeah, that's the old school method.
That's fucking cool. No one would let me near like bodies like that to like learn about them because I wouldn't learn. I'd just be like, whoa,
Take a piece with you,
look how
souvenir.
it falls apart.
There's
Oh my
always
God.
a bit of that when you're first given like, here you go, piece of dead body, and you're like, piece of dead body.
Oh wait, so it's not like a full dead body, you just get a piece.
Okay, it depends on what you're doing with it, but yeah, the nursing students will often get like, here's a leg.
What did you get?
What was my first body piece?
Well, you should know because it's a custom when you get your first dead body part to souvenir a digit.
That's right.
Yeah, to mummify it. No, I didn't actually get given any for any of my classes.
Oh.
I just worked with them sort of up in the research labs. So,
Okay.
and they were never really mine. They were always other people's, and I was just sort of like moseying around to sort of help out and do things.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, I should let you ask
This
the
makes me
questions
sound
from the
way
Discord. 'cause-
creepier than I
Well,
am.
I love it. No, see, I could sit here.
Well,
It's
now we've
already
got
been 10
background.
minutes. I'm
Yeah.
fucking like sitting here asking you questions about bodies and disease
Yeah.
and disgusting shit, which is
You know,
awesome.
on another very reputable
Very
reputable podcast,
Yes.
I was informed that 2 people got the plague on a plane recently.
The plague
And-
is coming back.
Yeah, they got the plague on a plane and somehow realized this. They ended up dying, but everybody on the plane was obviously quarantined and checked. And nobody else died.
The fuck?
But 2 people got the plague and died because, and this is third-hand information from the RT podcast. Apparently, it was because they'd been to like some country in South America or something on an adventure holiday, killed a small animal, cooked it and eaten it, and it had the
Dickheads,
plague,
it
and that's
had
how they got
disease.
it.
That's okay. That's weird, but yeah,
That's
I don't
the
know
story
about,
I was
I don't
told
know about
from-
that because so traditionally the plague was spread on fleas that
Yeah.
were on rats, and they would infect the rat. Like the rats would get infected, the fleas would be infected, the fleas would bite people, the people would get it that way. So it's
Maybe they didn't cook
bloodborne.
it very well.
Yeah.
And the fleas were still alive and bitten from the inside.
So the bacteria that causes it is called Yersinia pestis, and these days we don't see too much of it because you can treat it with antibiotics. If
Yeah.
you catch it early enough, you just treat it and it goes away.
I was going to say modern day medicine is probably
Yeah.
way more suited to taking care of those kinds of things.
Yeah.
And I would guess the hygiene standards as well
Yeah.
have something to do with it. Because,
Little bit.
like,
Rats are even showering
Yeah.
these days. It's fucked up.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, you've got questions.
we do.
Questions.
We
Otherwise,
have-
I'm gonna
from the Discord.
I'm
We-
gonna keep chiming in with like, oh, what about this? Was that fucking
Do it.
gross?
It's fun.
yeah, we were going
Otherwise-
to talk all about mass spectrometers at one point.
Oh no.
I'm gonna ask
we'll,
you.
we'll probably get to it at some point.
yeah,
It'll come
The night
up
is
again.
young.
let's
All
let's
right.
get to the
We're
first.
gonna
Sorry.
geek out proper.
get to the
I'm going to
first
skip the first question because
Okay.
it's probably got too much thinking.
Yeah.
We'll get more to a sciencey one. We'll come back to that. All right. Is it true, and this one's from Max on Tracks,
Max.
is it true that the majority of bugs cannot fall to their deaths despite how high they fall from?
Dan, what do
Fuck,
you
why are
think?
you looking at me?
I want to know what you think.
I have an engineering background, so I can give you a pretty educated answer.
To me, the more height. Oh fuck, I don't know.
What do you think? What would
Yeah,
the logical answer
I look
What-
at
what's your gut
bugs.
say?
Oh, okay, so my gut says that bugs don't have like.
They don't have
I'm not gonna
souls, and
use-
that's why you can pull the wings off them, and it's not
That's it,
weird,
right?
It's just experiment.
That's it. It's just fun. I am not going to use sciencey terminology here because I'm fucking useless at it. But to me, bugs don't really have like a heavy structure like humans do or anything like that. So there's no bones, there's no like heavy muscle or anything.
Yep.
It's just like vertebrate, like sort of what I don't even know if I'm using the right words. but they're-
Exoskeleton.
Yeah,
They've
it's
got
like
an
the exoskeleton.
Yeah.
And to me, that's not heavy enough for them to fall at a weight. So the wind beneath them will, regardless of what height they fall at, isn't going to make them drift to the ground.
Yeah.
They're not going to fall to a splatter because that's
You are pretty goddamn close.
okay.
Yeah.
That is just a
In
guess.
layman's terms,
in the
that's pretty
worst
much it.
terminology.
Yeah, no, you are
what the fuck's
pretty
ever,
damn
but-
close. So
Okay.
Touched on all the important bits.
yeah, so pretty well true. Yeah.
Okay.
So the bugs can't really fall to their death because there's a bunch of factors. So the first factor is how fast are they falling and what force would they hit the ground with when they do hit the ground. And so to do that, you can calculate what a bug's terminal velocity is, and to do that, you need to know the mass of the bug, the surface area of the bug, the density of the air that it's falling through, and the surface area, like the resistance of the air that is falling through. So when you factor all of that in, it works out to be about like 10 meters per second. So it's basically they fall at the same sort of speed of the pull of gravity, a little bit
Okay.
faster. But they also have these big old exoskeletons, which protects all of their inner organs. And their inner organs aren't really organs the same way that we have organs. They don't have any bones to puncture anything. They don't even have any blood. They've got this stuff called hemolymph, which just kind of flows through their body. Their hearts only pump things in one direction. Bugs are pretty well little tanks of like full of squishy stuff.
Fucking mad.
So it's really hard to kill a bug with impact. You would have to drop a bug with such a force that it would crush on itself, and the structure of the exoskeleton will kind of prevent that from happening at the terminal velocity that the bug can fall at.
Okay.
So the height at which you would have to drop a bug in order to kill it would be like several hundred, kilometers up, basically. You'd drop
Actual
them
space.
from the edge of
Yeah.
space so that upon re-entry into the atmosphere, they actually
burn up.
vaporize. Yeah.
So it wouldn't even actually land.
It
would never
technically
drop
kill
and
a bug
hit.
on impact. So
Yeah.
you can't really kill a bug on impact.
Okay.
Most bugs. There might be
That's-
exceptions to this rule, but any exoskeleton-based bug, arthropods and things.
I swear when I was a kid, I threw a Christmas beetle. Because we used to
Oh,
have
yeah,
these out of our soccer
yeah.
fields.
Those
Throw it
little
against the wall
yep.
and shit, and it would just like dunk, bounce off, run
Yeah.
away.
Yeah.
It's like,
There's a thing with it as well that you can't put enough force into it because it will always move out of the way. Just because it's so light, it will take the force and move
yeah.
rather than like stop an impact because there's not enough there for the inertia.
Newton, bitch.
Yeah, it's the whole thing.
Cool.
What else we got?
I'm glad I didn't get the first one wrong. I feel like a fucking
No, you
idiot.
nailed it. It was great.
Excellent.
All right, here's a little bit more of a. This one's a thinker.
Ooh.
This was Gizbot. If one eye lets us see in 2 dimensions,
Fuck.
and 2 eyes see in 3 dimensions,
Pretty sure I can see in 3 dimensions with one eye.
yeah, with parallax, yeah. Would having a 3rd eye allow sight into a new dimension, or would we be able to see things in a planar, locked position?
Oh, fuck. This is the one with about bugs falling was easier. I see. I can't. I don't feel like. Yeah, this is what I'm thinking. In my mind, I'm thinking that we're not using the full structural integrity of our brains to process what more than 2 eyes could bring out because we're only geared to have 2.
I like it.
This is totally like just winging it here. You fucking, so realistically, I think that if we had a 3rd eye, one of them would be almost non-functional or blurry based on the fact that we've only ever had 2. But I mean, if you naturally had 3,
I
then
think
maybe you see like in splintered imagery.
I reckon evolutionarily, if we had a 3rd one, it would be more like a sensor. It would see in a part of the spectrum we don't already see.
Cool.
Infrared,
And that,
ultraviolet,
yeah, it would be shifted
Something like
to
that.
one of the 2.
Okay.
And that would be what our 3rd eye would see. But it's actually a well-documented fact. You know, spiders have 6 or 8 eyes.
That's what I was gonna say.
They can actually see through time.
What?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why you can never hit them. They can see through time.
Yeah,
Get the fuck
so
out.
2 dimensions, we got
Spider
our flat
sense.
surface, 3 dimensions, we've got our 3 dimensions. The 4th dimension is actually time.
They can see through.
can see
the
through
8-eyed
time.
one can see through like string theory itself.
That's mad.
Oh yeah,
So now
string theory.
Spidey
It's
sense
named
makes-
after spiders.
Wait, you guys fucking with me?
Yes.
A little bit, yeah.
dickheads. I was like, wait, hang on a second. That can't be right. I've seen fucking the way that they've always drawn how spiders look, and they're always just seeing multiple of everything.
Makes a lot of sense though. String theory, spider sense.
Yeah, as soon as you said it, I was like, Spidey sense. That's what it means. Fucking stupid.
Makes
Jesus
perfect
Christ.
sense.
This is.
I like that question. That was a good question.
So wait, did we get the answer to that?
I don't think
it
there
was
is
kind of a
an answer.
nonsensical question.
I think that was the answer.
That's why I was like, there's got to be an answer. If
That's
you're asking
why.
it.
That's why we moved on from one that
Science.
was very
Fuck me
simple
up.
logic, and this one was
Wow.
a little bit deeper.
So rather than it being like 1 and 1 right now, it's like you should just minus my 1 from the first answer, and I'm back on 0. That's terrible.
Yeah, this was one
Fucking
of those like
hell.
it was like the creative writing portion of the science paper.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
if you write something good, and you know it doesn't have to be true, but it can be good
Whose
and
question was
interesting.
that?
Look, Gizbot.
Yeah, Gizbot.
Fuck
yeah.
you.
Yeah. So, top tip, kids, if you can make your teacher laugh, you will get bonus marks. Okay, maybe you won't get bonus marks, but you'll get favor.
If you can make your teacher blush,
Ooh.
bonus points.
Look up. No, there is an elephant in the way. That was my favorite meme when I was a sad little year 12 in engineering.
I think we're too old for
Yeah,
this.
Just look up those words on Google Images, and I'm pretty sure you'll find what I'm talking about. And if you don't, I'll probably have put it on the screen. So you'll get to bask in its glory.
Yeah, I sense a
Anyway.
meme
I was about to look it up, but I'll just add to our view count next week.
All right. What do we got? Let's go. Oh,
Let's write all over the questions.
what have I done? All right. So the next one was, we got a few from A Little Too Strange. So we'll start with the first one, as one does. Why does the moon show up during the day? Is that cheeky moon always wanting to be the center of attention or what?
Pretty much, yeah.
Well, that settles that. Okay.
Excellent.
There you go, cheeky.
This is a
moon.
good scientific response.
Yeah.
I actually don't know the answer to that one. Like, I mean, I don't know the answer to any of them, but I can't even work out why. I mean, I get space.
Yeah.
I understand, like,
So this
the way it
one,
works, but
it's a little hard to sort of illustrate without sort of something to fall back on, like a model or something to show you. But basically, the moon is always traveling around the Earth.
Yes.
So the moon is always orbiting the Earth, and the Earth is always rotating.
Mm-hmm.
So as the moon goes around us, we rotate. So we see the moon at nighttime because it's reflecting the light off the sun, and it happens to be in our field of view.
Yep.
But the moon isn't always in our field of view. The moon is sometimes on the other side of the planet. So while it's nighttime for us and it's daytime for the other side of the planet, the sun's over here, they see the moon.
Okay.
So we can't see it because it's on the other side, basically. So it's just a spatial thing. It's where is the moon in relation to where we are.
Yeah.
So if we're facing away from the sun and the moon's on the other side of the world, then we're not going to see that
we're not
moon.
going to see it. So
Yeah.
what about when it's during the daytime, but you can still see it kind of like...
So that's when we're on the other side
That's
of the
when we're on
planet.
the other
So
side,
we're,
okay.
the sun's, we
Oh,
can see
cool,
the
cool, I
sun
gotcha.
and we
Yeah,
can see the moon as
now
well.
I get you. Yeah, okay, cool.
But then that moon will sort of be rotating around the Earth, and it takes a month for it to do that. So
Because if you sit there, you hear that question straight away, and you go, well, it makes sense because there are times at night where you should be able to see the sun then as well, right? You're like, no, actually, the moon rotates around the Earth. So
we get our days by the Earth rotating, and then we get our nights, like we get our month with the moon rotating around the Earth. Yeah. So
Fucking
sometimes
hell.
we get the moon.
Fun fact about the sun and the moon. You know how they're the same size in the sky, but one's enormous and one's not?
They
It's
actually
because, yeah, they're the same size when you look at the sky.
Mm-hmm.
It's because the moon is 400 times smaller, but 400 times closer.
Yeah.
So just by whatever chance, like
That's so cool.
the world,
literally the way
the
it's
world is
worked
just
And we can
pretty
test
magic.
this because when we get a solar eclipse, the moon passes in front of the sun and almost perfectly blocks it
Yeah.
out. Like, that's cool.
Yeah, they're moments we stay awake for.
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
No, those happen during the day.
Yeah. Sorry, they're moments we pay attention to.
Yeah, there are moments we
Stay awake.
stop and
People travel.
stare at the sun,
Yeah.
even though we know it's going to burn
Shouldn't.
our retinas.
Yeah.
Smarter Every Day did a whole thing on that and like travel to the middle of nowhere kind of thing to go and witness it and like get the perfect shot of it and all this stuff. Speaking of getting the perfect shot, when I look in my DSLR with the lens off, why is everything upside down? And is it because I'm accessing some type of upside down or mirror dimension?
Ah, definitely that mirror dimension.
I'm pretty certain that's the case. But if it wasn't, on the off chance that that's not the correct answer, I believe it's because the way lenses work, it inverts the image. It's the same as if you look at the reflection on a spoon. Because of the curve of the spoon, it'll actually show you a mirror of like an upside down of yourself.
Yeah.
The reason it's upside down when you take your lens off is because it's correcting for that. So if it's not getting an upside down image, everything will inherently be flipped now.
Yeah.
So that's why.
So your eyes actually work the same way.
True.
So when we perceive an image, we're registering light from the top and the bottom of the image. And what happens is there's a focal point where all of that image will present as like a point. And when that focuses on the back of your retina, it actually focuses in front of your eyes first on the lens of your eyes. Mm-hmm. And then as it passes through, it goes back onto your retina, so onto the part that will receive that light, upside down. Because it's come in and then it's refracted back upside down. So then your brain takes that image, processes it, and turns it back the right way for you.
Fuck me.
Yeah.
You're also always looking at your nose. Put your finger on your nose, you'll see.
Yeah, you see it.
Yeah, but
It's ridiculous.
And if put it there even, but your brain processes it out because it doesn't want to look at your nose all day.
Now I just see my nose, Josh.
Yeah, you're
Josh.
also aware of your breathing and your tongue
Josh.
feels uncomfortable in your mouth.
What?
I hate you.
Do aliens exist?
Yes.
Yes.
They do. It's a fact.
Fuck yes.
We all know it. I've seen them.
They have
It took
to.
me. Yeah, I know we were talking about this before. there's what was the name of the form of the equation?
The Drake equation.
Yeah.
So the Drake equation basically says how many how many stars out there that are just like our sun, which have a solar system attached to them, and how many have planets within them that are the right distance to sustain life, basically. And if you do the calculation across all of the galaxies, across all of the universe, there's about 30 million or billion planets that fit that description. I think it's million. Billion sounds way too big. Although it could be, it's a pretty damn big place.
Huge.
So it's a huge number that could potentially sustain life that is just similar to what we know. So the chances of there being aliens out there is very, very high. The chances of us encountering those aliens is very, very low. And that's because our nearest star that gives us anything remotely, well, our nearest star full stop is Alpha Centauri, which is 4 light years away. And that means that it would take us traveling at the speed of light 4 years to get to that planet. We are nowhere near the speed of light travel yet. Even so, it would still take us 4 years to get there. So anyone in any interstellar travelers would have to find some way to get to us in order to present themselves. And we'd also have to meet at the same rough developmental stage where we could actually communicate with them.
They would also have to be alive at the same time as us, even developmentally, like to even discover like even an animal that isn't really intelligent yet would be cool. But like to meet intelligent life, the odds are so astronomical. But then it's scaled back by it's counted by the fact that the universe is so infinitely large. So they're out there.
There are times that I really love science, and then there are times like this that I fucking hate it.
Oh, I
because
love
it proves all the things I want to be real. Like,
I mean,
they could be, but you know, the science part of it. What about ghosts?
That
is there a scientific sort of touch on spirits?
Nothing that we've been able to say, you know. Yeah, no.
All these things they use,
nothing.
all these things they use to pick up like signals and waves and shit. Is there like any like even scientific reasoning behind those things, or is it just picking up like radio waves from somewhere or fucking
like there's a lot of things that interfere with a lot of things that people say that are ghosts that we don't really have any evidence for. So
excellent.
Yeah,
that's what they want you to think.
Keep watching ghost shows.
You hear that? The police are coming for you.
Yeah.
Trying to debunk ghosts like that.
I mean, Google Home's listening now.
That makes
we're running out of time, but let's blast through a few of these.
Yeah, let's
How much does the planet weigh? Like, how many seas thick are we talking?
All the seas. Lots of seas.
I would think at least like, 25 seas.
Yeah, lots of seas.
So many seamen.
Yeah.
So many seas.
Why don't birds fry when they're standing on electrical wires?
That one's pretty easy. It's because they're not grounded. So you can have electricity flowing through you. As long as you're not actually discharging that electricity anywhere, it won't actually shock you. And I do this all the time with my kids with Van de Graaff generators in school. I love Van de Graaff generators. It's so much fun. You get a kid up there and you go, this is 10,000 volts, and then watch them get absolutely terrified when you like go to shock them with it. Yeah.
But so explain it to me real quick. You're trying to shock the kids with the thing.
Yeah.
Why are they not getting shocked?
So usually I make them insulated so they can actually put their hands on the Van de Graaff generator if they're like standing up on a chair or something, so they're not in contact with the floor.
Yep.
If they were to try and touch it when they're grounded, that would actually shock them.
I've been electrocuted.
Although that said,
sucks.
I will absolutely shock, like I will stand next to them on the floor and just like touch them. That will shock them.
It takes, I think, I want to say it was 10,000, I may be wrong, but 10,000 volts to jump a centimeter or possibly a millimeter. I can't remember which.
10,000 volts on my Van de Graaff generators, like in the school labs, will jump a fair way. Like,
okay, maybe it was an inch then.
I can get a good 1 centimeter jump out of them.
There you go. Because every morning, like when it's dark and I go to put my key in, if it's really cold and the air is just right and I'm all staticked up, I see a little blue spark as I go to put my key in the door. And I always think about that.
Live for those moments.
Nice.
Let's go to... Wow, this one's probably too long for now because we're running out of time, but pop quiz. What makes us human? And if you think about how far tech has come, androids can't be too far off. When they become lifelike and show emotions, would they deserve rights like humans? Or how do we decide what's human life and android and whether they're equal and which will be considered more valuable?
I'm going to use this to segue
will
into
androids
a quick
ever
question.
become more valuable?
All right.
I am huge on cybernetic attachments, enhancements, organism, like, you know, arms,
Cyberpunk.
legs, whatever.
Yep.
what are the possibilities of us successfully being able to attach, say, a metal arm, a robotic mechanical arm that will attach to my body, and I'll probably link it up somehow to my fucking brain so that I can use it? What are the chances of me getting gangrene and dying when it comes to like it merging with my body and not causing me sickness?
Well, there's prosthetics out there that already do that.
Slim to none, because they just chop you off.
Yeah.
Well, they would use the electrical.
Well,
they take the electrical stimulus from your actual muscles and use that to drive it, rather than actually plugging wires into you.
Yeah.
Just take it from the surface. Because we're really running out of time.
You see, Josh is
very quick answer, because we've got like a minute.
Yep.
Out of all the things in science you've done, what was your favorite and why?
For legal reasons, I can't tell you what my actual favorite thing was. Technically, it never happened. But no, my favorite thing is actually teaching kids, honestly. Like, the stuff that I get to do in high school every day is just so much fun, because you get to have those little aha moments where suddenly the kids are like, I never knew that. And you get to see that, the genuine excitement when they're like, oh, suddenly that makes so much sense. This question that had plagued them since they were little that no one had been able to answer. And then suddenly you come along and you don't even have to tell them. You just give them the hints. And then when they figure it out on their own and you see their eyes light up and you're just like, you get it now. Amazing.
My favorite thing is that I got to drive a racing car, because engineering is an applied science and I did engineering, and that's how I got to drive a racing car. All right, Dan, you got anything? I
like science because it's going to one day mean I can have a metal arm.
Cool, perfect. All right. Well, thank you guys for watching. Please follow our Junk in the Doobly-Doo.
Subscribe to the fucking show.
Yeah, that thing. Press the little bell.
And we'll see you again in 2 weeks' time on the next show.
All right, perfect. Thank you guys. Bye.